A reminder as well that there is a special Football Daily available as a podcast paying tribute to Jack Charlton. It features Mark Lawrenson, Johnny Giles, David O'Leary, and indeed our own football correspondent John Murray, and that is available from our usual outlets. Let's get an update from the cricket. The fifth day, of course, of the first test. Eleanor Oldroyd.
West Indies chasing a target of 200 to win their 3 without loss. We saw a terrific first over from Jofra Archer, appeal for LBW for Campbell pitching just outside leg, and then nearly caught at cover point by Ollie Pope, couldn't get in quite quickly enough. 3 without loss, the West Indies, the target is 200.
We've had the 2-whistle start then here at Molyneux as Everton get the game underway in their royal blue shirts and white shorts. So Everton playing from left to right as we look against Wolves in the sunshine here, and I'm told at pitch level it's very, very warm. We're in the shade, nice and cool.
Nice and cool, Deno. Yeah, it is a warm one today, though. It's good. It's better to have good weather anyway, and not the rain that we've had over the last few days.
But when I watched Wolves at Bramall Lane in midweek, it was like being in winter. It was cold, and the rain was pouring down in South Yorkshire. This is much more like it. Although I'm told that when they played Crusaders, when their campaign began for this season in July of last year, it was in the 30s. So it's catching up for what is the 54th game of a very long campaign for Wolves. But they're wanting to get their season back on track. They've stumbled a little bit of late with those back-to-back defeats against Arsenal and Sheffield United as Richarlison slips but gets it out to Theo Walcott. Theo Walcott, by the way, his 500th club appearance of his career, and there's a little bit of symmetry about it as he loses out in the challenge to Podence, and Podence will play it inside because he made his first appearance against Wolves in August 2005. He was 16 years and 143 days old, and here he is making his 500th club appearance, and it's a landmark day for him and his first start after surgery on that groin problem.
Yeah, it's good to see Theo Walcott back in play, and obviously it was a bit poor there, but you know what it looks like, Deno? They're playing 3 at the back. They're Everton wing backs. Baines is playing left wing back. Digne's the third centre half, and Theo Walcott's going to play right wing back. I think they've matched up Wolves.
Good spot. Yeah, we wondered why they'd gone with the Digne and Baines, but Baines is playing on that left-hand side. That'll be to curb the runs of Matt Doherty, and it means that Walcott will have to look after Johnny on this near side as Wolves are playing from right to left. So Ancelotti has tried to match up with Nuno Espirito Santo as Podence, Portuguese midfielder, diminutive, wearing the 10 in that golden shirt for Wolverhampton Wanderers, as they're playing from right to left. The ball is chipped forward by Neves. It comes back to Neves. Wednesday at Bramall Lane was actually his 3rd anniversary since he moved from Porto. Very classy midfielder. The decisive forward ball, and Podence is onto this, and in the end hit it left-footed, tried to go across Pickford, didn't really have the power to trouble Pickford, all in green, and it was a outstretched left hand but easily gathered in by the England international.
It was a good ball though, and a great run from Podence. He looked like he had the beating of Michael Keane there, but I thought he could have carried on going. But yeah, it wasn't a powerful enough shot. Comfortable save for Pickford. Walcott
has played a good ball forward to Calvert-Lewin, and Calvert-Lewin will take it on early, running in the inside right channel of the penalty area as they attack the old South Bank for Wolverhampton Wanderers. But in the end it was always going to be a very difficult effort to try and beat Patricio, but again another good ball played forward.
Yeah, it's a really, really good start this from both teams. Good ball from Walcott, good run from Calvert-Lewin, but yeah, the angle was always against him, and it's a comfortable save for Patricio. But nice, it's been a really entertaining start from both sides so far.
Not expecting many goals. Wolverhampton Wanderers in their last 6 games have seen a total of 7 goals, so not expecting much from Wolverhampton Wanderers, but
hopefully we get some, Deno. I'll try and bring the goals with me.
We'll just have what at least one would be nice.
Exactly, mate. One will be nice.
But I'm sure there will be a few for the first of 4 commentaries on 5 Live today. Aston Villa against Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Arsenal, and Bournemouth against Leicester City. Saiss, left of the 3 central defenders. Johnny just over the halfway line, gets it back from Jimenez, comes forward and then plays it back out to the left touch line, forward to Podence just ahead of him, level with the penalty area. It's a right-footed ball into the box, headed away by Digne, came across to cover there, bearing in mind that Digne is playing on the left of the 3 central defenders for Everton, as it's flicked back and then hoisted by Neves out towards Podence. Forward ball, nice movement there from Johnny, getting forward on this near side. Podence makes a run towards the penalty area. Back it goes to Neto, keeping the ball well of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Conor Coady, who has played in all of the last 72 Premier League games and played every minute as well. Conor Coady, he was on duty for that Europa League draw when UEFA on Friday, through Zoom or whatever it was, with the technology, went round Europe to the various representatives sat in their training bases. And for Wolverhampton Wanderers, they still of course harbour hopes of progressing in the Europa League should they get past Olympiacos in the last 16. Indeed, there is the possibility of an all-English semi-final against Manchester United, but before that they've got to try and get past either Sevilla or Roma should they see off the Greek side after that 1-1 draw away from home. At least they know that the second leg will be played here at Molyneux in early August. There's Bolly, almost caught in possession, and Coady just leaps forward, heads it, going on into his tiptoes. Dendoncker infield to Neves, quickly helps it on its way. Johnny, Podence provides the width on this near side, the left. Neves now will take over. It's a forward ball. Doherty had made that run in from the right hand side. Everton have dealt with that. Bolly picks it up, square ball. Nice movement about Wolves are playing here. They're finding the golden shirts. Podence infield. Neves tries to thread it back through to Podence, cut out by Michael Keane. They're playing some attractive football at Wolverhampton Wanderers, Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, they are. They've started on the front foot. It's going to be difficult for Everton, because Everton are just sat in, and they are literally playing like a back five. I think there's going to be problem areas down Everton's right hand side, because Theo Walcott, you're asking like a front man to do a lot of defending, and all it takes is one split moment to switch off. So it's going to be difficult for Theo Walcott. I'm interested to see him against Johnny this afternoon.
I know we've only been playing for 6.5 minutes, but I would say that it's typical now as they switch it out to the right, but a lot has gone down this near side, the left for Wolves, but all of a sudden they do break forward, and surging is Doherty to the edge of the area, and as he slips, as he gets the shot away, he was saying it took a deflection on its way through, but referee Anthony Taylor instead will award the goal kick. But it was a strong diagonal run from the right wing back.
Yeah, definitely. Matt Doherty's had a great season. It was a good run, but it'd be disappointing with the finish. He kind of scuffs it into the ground and it goes past Pickford's post. But you are spot on. I think Digne and Baines, they naturally want to defend. They don't really want to go forward, they want to defend. So I think all the attacks will probably come down Everton's right hand side.
Carlo Ancelotti standing in his technical area. The index finger of his right hand is pointed, telling where he wants Theo Walcott to go. Julie obliges, he runs over the halfway line. Pickford, whose distribution from the back is absolutely always spot on, tries to drift it out towards this near side. It was just lost there by Calvert-Lewin. Patricio will sweep it away, the Wolves goalkeeper. Johnny deep inside his own half, gets the return ball back from Podence. Sold Neves short there, nipping in was Calvert-Lewin, and it's played now to Theo Walcott on this right hand side. Takes a deflection off Johnny, will take it away from Davis in the midfield, and it will be cleared away by Saiss and out of play for a throw. BBC Radio 5 Live, 8 minutes played here at Molyneux in the sunshine, and it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Everton 0. Walcott waits to take the throw. Anthony Gordon makes himself available, and then it goes all the way back to Yerry Mina. Sigurdsson can't find it through towards Davis, and now Neto head down will bomb forward, and he's over the halfway line and he's still going. Neto back in the side after injury, plays it behind him. Doherty midway through the Everton half on that right hand side. Now it's with Dendoncker, played out by Coady. Forward ball by Saiss, hit it first time. It was a nice gentle pace of the ball as it reached him. It goes back inside towards Coady. They spread it out towards that far side. Doherty will come towards the halfway line to collect it, lays it back behind him. Neto almost at a walking pace. Everton have dropped off and Wolves have the ball in that middle third, being patient. Then Donker plays it forward just as Jimenez had dropped off, and it goes all the way through to Pickford. Yeah,
they have a good shape, Everton, but I don't know if they want to defend like this for the whole 90 minutes. When they're in possession of the ball, they've got to be a lot better than what they've been so far, Everton. But Wolves are dominating, but not really creating any clear-cut chances.
So gave you the Wolves side. The fact that now Keane, Mina and Digne are the three central defenders, Walcott and Baines are the wing-backs for Everton. You've then got Davis and Gordon and Sigurdsson in the midfield behind Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, as Everton now start to see a little bit of the ball, those royal blue shirts playing from left to right, and Sigurdsson finds Walcott on this near side, and then they're forced to go back as Wolves will press, and Keane, taking no chances, goes all the way back to Pickford, decked out all in green. Mina will come short to collect it off his goalkeeper inside the D of his own penalty area. Sigurdsson in the central area plays it out towards Keane, who hits it right-footed. Making the run was Calvert-Lewin, getting in behind, but it was drifting away from him, and out of play it goes for a Wolves throw.
Yeah, are you not surprised then? I'm surprised. If you're going to play wing-backs, would you not play Seamus Coleman as a right wing-back? I think he's brilliant. He can get back in his defensive work. I think he's been good after the restart, and he can always get forward as well.
He's on the bench, is Seamus Coleman, but yeah, you would think that, because it would be more of a natural position defensively rather than Theo Walcott.
Exactly that, and that's what I'm thinking. If you're not going to dominate the football and you're going to be defending for a lot of the time, then I think Coleman's probably best off playing there than Theo Walcott.
Wolverhampton Wanderers coming forward. Johnny Walcott is back there, but he only succeeds in holding Johnny up. He didn't dispossess him, as Neto will switch play, and around knee height, brought under control with a nice cushion touch there off the right foot of Bolly, back inside to Cody. Depending on what happens with that ruling tomorrow from the Court of Arbitration for Sport with Manchester City, I think finishing in the top four is just going to elude Wolverhampton Wanderers after those damaging back-to-back defeats against Arsenal and Sheffield United. But depending what happens with that ruling, which we're expecting at around 9:30 in the morning, Wolves might still be hoping to try and finish in the 5, as Jimenez can't force his way through in between two players. And in the end it was Digne who came across to clear it out of play for a throw.
I don't know what he's doing there, Digne. Deno. He's got time. He's whacked the ball out for a corner. He does have mad moments. I saw one last game where Pickford was telling him what was he doing. I don't understand what he was doing. He just give Wolves a corner in a dangerous position.
So there's going to be a corner kick for Wolverhampton Wanderers on this near side, the left. Arms aloft, and it's Pedro Neto to take it. Instead he just pulls it back to Podence on his first Premier League start, but the return ball to Neto didn't do him any favours, and in fact, I don't think he was expecting it. As a result, the blonde-haired Tom Davis with his ponytail just runs back and holds off Neto, and it runs out of play for a goal kick.
Deno, let me tell you something. You see, if I'm a centre-half and I've gone all the way up the field and you've not put the ball into the box, I'm going mad at you. I don't mind short corner, but at least put the ball into the box. We've just come up, you know. It is disappointing. That's my pet hate, things like that.
Well, I know they've got some diminutive players there in Podence and Johnny on the field, but when you think that Saiss and Bolly and Cody would have posed a threat, that was cut out by Davis. Early ball forward, and Calvert-Lewin is challenged there by Conor Cody, of course, a boyhood Liverpool supporter facing Everton here, and he was quickly on to Calvert-Lewin. A little bit late though, so Anthony Taylor gives the free kick to the away side, Everton, and we've been playing for 13 minutes here in the sunshine, and Anthony Taylor waving away Neves, and it will be a free kick, 0-0.
Tell you who they might miss today, Everton, is Gomez. Gomez is usually the player who gets on the ball and tries to make things happen. He's not involved today. He's just coming back from a bad injury, but I like him when he gets up to full fitness. I think he'll be a great addition to this Everton team. Yes,
very tidy midfielder as Podence comes forward. Loses out to Davis. There's been a wicket at the cricket. Ellie.
Yes, Jofra Archer has been a real handful this morning, and he's just had Craig Brathwaite chopping onto his stumps, and that is 7 for 1. The West Indies chasing 200 to win, and they've lost their other opener as well, at least temporarily. John Campbell struck on the toe by Archer, not out LBW because it pitched outside the line, but he had treatment and he's had to go off the field. So West Indies are 7 for 1, but they have got 2 batsmen back in the pavilion.
And commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. You've got the added effects here, of course, behind closed doors. If you want it, the clean version. When I watch the television, I take that option. I'd take the clean version. I don't like the...
Well, you don't hear nothing.
The artifice. No,
I'm the same as well, mate. I don't like to hear it. I just like to hear everything that's going on the football pitch. Yep, I'm the same as you.
But from the radio point of view, I think it does make a bit of a difference. And if you do want that clean version, it's available on the BBC Sport website and app. 5 Live, the first of 4 commentaries this Sunday afternoon. Mina at the heart of that Everton defence, and it's still 0-0. They go all the way back to Jordan Pickford. Michael Keane, right corner of his penalty area. Anthony Gordon, quite slight, runs forward over the halfway line. Walcott has made the diagonal run. He's just thrown something away there as Anthony Gordon onto the side of the pitch, but he was running into an area where Walcott was occupying that space, and Walcott had to make the diagonal run to give him an area to run into, and it got a little bit of a cul-de-sac. They've gone back, they've kept the ball of Everton, and Gordon now on the halfway line, who looks a promising player, doesn't he, from what I've seen of him?
Yeah, he's neat and tidy. He'll be the one who's kind of playing closest to Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, that they'll be looking to break him behind. But I do like him. I think he's coming there, and he's keeping some good players on the bench, the likes of Iwobi, Bernard, and players like that. So credit to the young man.
With the West Indies requiring 200 to win. If you missed it, England, who had resumed 284 for 8 from their overnight score, it was a lead of 170, were eventually all out for 313. So the West Indies chasing 200 to win as Gordon darts forward. Behind him is Sigurdsson. Forward then to Walcott on the right hand side. Walcott with a good ball in from the right. In fact, he actually opens up his arms as if to say, why didn't nobody attack it? Everton have got it back. Baines inside. Gordon turns, edge of the D. Gordon shot blocked by Neves. Comes back towards Davis. Still 0-0 on 5 Live. Diagonal ball pushed out towards Richarlison, and the return ball then goes away from Davis and out for a goal kick. You'd have thrived on a cross like that, Clinton.
I'm glad you said that, then. What a ball from Theo Walcott. I was going to have a moan at him to say, take Johnny on, because be positive like the old Theo Walcott, but he got half a yard and whipped a great ball in. And Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin are both on their heels, but it's a terrific ball played into the box there.
When you were playing for Birmingham and Coventry, did you ever come to Molyneux? Is this a ground that you've thrived on in your career in the past?
Yeah, definitely. I think I scored a lot of goals here when I was playing for Crystal Palace. I got a few elbows and a few black eyes. I remember playing it, but I did score the 2 goals that beat Wolves here for Palace, and I did make the fans know about it as well, then.
I was half expecting you to say that you thrived on every ground that you played in. That was the type of response I was thinking.
I knew you were trying to set me up for that, but I can't say too much.
Pedence out to Johnny, 0-0. Clinton Morrison is with us here. It's been a busy spell for everybody in the media, but nobody works harder than Clinton.
I was waiting for that.
Gordon beaten to the challenge by Dendoncker, and it goes out of play for a throw.
I've learned from the best in Deno. Don't worry about it.
Who's that, John Murray?
No, Deno. Deno and John Murray, I put them on the same level. Don't worry about that, mate.
He's hit the Tottenham Arsenal game today a little later on, after Aston Villa Crystal Palace, and we finish off with Bournemouth against Leicester City. First of 4 games then on 5 Live. Tomorrow, Manchester United against Southampton, as coming forward is Digne. Out to the left wing back, Leighton Baines. Sigurdsson takes it just inside the Everton half as they're playing from left to right, and then Keane will come forward, the England international, over the halfway line. Richarlison had made the run, not spotted, had to go back to Yerry Mina. Mina inside the centre circle of the Everton half. Wolves though have everybody back behind the ball. Keane along the ground. Richarlison lays it off behind him to Davis, and then Yerry Mina out to Digne. Baines is pushed up quite high on that left hand side. Walcott, who's the right wing back, is just coming back a little bit towards the halfway line. They go through the middle. Davis to Calvert-Lewin, slips, just lost his footing as it was played to his feet. Dendoncker will head it away, only as far as Anthony Gordon, waits for the ball to settle, passes it out to Walcott, 30 yards out. In field, the return ball from Sigurdsson towards Walcott, headed away by Saiss. It's a downward header, and there is Neves. And Neves forward, laid off then first time by Neto, played forward by Doherty. Jimenez lifts it forward, and then Anthony Taylor spotted a check there for a foul on Neto, and that will be a free kick, and Digne might well be getting a talking to.
I liked Digne this last season, but I'm not sure about him this season, Deno. I think he's making a lot of silly mistakes, and for me personally, and I think he's a better defender than he's shown quite recently. He doesn't need to. He can just match the run of Neto. He's quick enough to recover. So now he's under pressure now for the rest of the game by giving away a silly free kick and getting booked.
Yes, got the yellow card from referee Anthony Taylor. As Neves on the halfway line. Johnny closed down quickly by Walcott, as a result has to go back to Neves. Back in field to Connor Cody. Opens it up right-footed out towards that right-hand side. Jimenez has dropped very deep alongside Neto, who runs forward. Then it's out to his right for Doherty. It's a short square ball. Then Donker right corner of the area. Tried to play it back. It was Jimenez who was behind him. Very, very deep, the Wolves striker. And then Anthony Taylor has given a free kick in favour of Everton as Davis is fouled.
Yeah, I just think he's deep because he wants to get involved. He's probably not had hardly any touches in the game so far, and Jimenez is usually, their most pivotal player when they're playing up to him, but he's hardly had any touches so far this afternoon.
Coming into this game, Wolves had mustered just 2 shots on target from their last 2 games in the Premier League. Nothing in either of the second halves in those 2 matches in the defeats against Arsenal and Sheffield United. And apart from 2 relatively tame shots, one at either end, the goalkeepers haven't been necessarily overworked here in the sunshine at Molyneux. There's Prudence in field. Neves onto this ball, and Neto dropping towards the centre circle and then running out towards this left-hand side, playing in front of those royal blue shirts of Everton under the clear blue skies up above. Bolly from the halfway line, then Donker, the Belgian international. The return ball cut out by Digne, and maybe a break is on for Everton. Picked up by Richarlison on that far side. Only Calvert-Lewin ahead of him. Davis joining the attack midway through his own half, but he ran into trouble and he was taken off his toes by Bolly, and it goes out for an Everton throw. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, Richarlison's another one. He's been quiet. The 2 probably danger men on both teams have been quiet, Jimenez and Richarlison, and Everton will look to him to cause problems because I think he's a really good player, exciting player, Richarlison, but he's been quiet so far.
Baines, Sigurdsson on the halfway line in the centre circle, out to Michael Keane, back to the Icelandic international Gylfi Sigurdsson, who's still waiting for his 100th goal in English football. Hasn't necessarily had the same level of success. Been a little bit disappointing this season, Sigurdsson. Just the 3 goals that he's scored. Normally contributes a lot more from the midfield, as we have the drinks break midway through the first half, and I would imagine on today you probably need the drinks break. I'm told it's very, very warm touchline. Didn't necessarily need it when it was cold and wet in midweek at Bramall Lane, but maybe today.
Yeah, I don't call it a drinks break anymore, then I call it a tactical break. Very tactical, because you know what, sometimes when a team's in the ascendance and then they come after this break, the other team then's in the ascendance, so I call it a tactical break. But you are right, it's a hot afternoon, so I can see the importance of having a drinks break. But just then, Deno, I just seen Jordan Pickford. He tried to ping the ball and he went out of play to Leighton Baines, and Carlo Ancelotti was shouting at him. He wants him to play. They want him to play out from the back, and that's what he wants. He wants to trust his goalkeepers to play out from the back, and all his defenders as well.
There's been another wicket at the cricket. Ellie.
I tell you what, Jofra Archer is on fire. Shamar Brooks, really dangerous batsman, is out. LBW didn't even bother to appeal it. It looked absolutely plumb. West Indies are 7 for 2. That target of 200 looks a long way off. England adding 29 this morning. And don't forget that they've got an opener back in the pavilion. John Campbell retired hurt a bit earlier. 7 for 2, the West Indies.
Well, it could have gone either way, and it's always going to be an exciting final day. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. But after England 313 all out this morning, setting the West Indies 200 to win, England have taken 2 early wickets, as Ellie says, 7 for 2 on what is going to be a busy sporting afternoon. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Leicester City. 3 more commentaries to come. But I like you, I hope this drinks break doesn't continue for when the new season starts in September.
I heard they're thinking they might do that.
Oh,
I know. It disrupts it, does it, then?
It'd be like American football with quarters. It's the last thing that English football needs. Games should all be about 2 halves of 45 minutes and nothing else. I know why they did it with the amount of games that they're playing.
But not next season. I agree with you, mate. Not next season. You don't need it. You get on with it. When the ball goes out of play, you can go over to the side and get a water break or someone to throw a bottle of water over to you. So I'm in your camp on that one, mate.
The thing is, and the good thing is that I don't think we're alone. I think there are many people in football who don't want it. So the more we talk about it, the better it is. As Podence tries to play ball forward to Neto. Very good defending by Digne, sliding back because Neto might just have nicked there and before Pickford. Very, very alert from Digne. Did well.
See, that's the Digne I know. That's really good defending. He checked his shoulders and he got there. He used his pace, which he has got, and his good defending to stop Neto from scoring. Very good defending from Digne.
Long ball downfield, flicked on by Calvert-Lewin, tied it up by Doherty, running back to Patricio. Patricio, all in orange, place it out towards this near side. And Romain Saiss, his 50th Premier League appearance, the Moroccan international, casually plays the ball back in field. And for Conor Cody, out towards Doherty, the Irish international on that far side. Neves will drop midway through his own half to collect this ball, back towards Doherty once more. It's almost like a game of chess, isn't it? The two sides are waiting to try and make that killer move, prise open the defences, because we haven't had much goal-mouth action and we've been playing for 25 minutes. Not necessarily much of a surprise for regular watchers of Wolverhampton Wanderers, particularly in the first half of games this season, as Podence moves into the penalty area and almost caught Pickford out. Hit it early, low, and Pickford actually made a smart save at his near post. That could easily have gone in. Strong risk behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, it's good play from Podence. I think Walcott tries to get back at him, but then knocks it into his path. I think Keane might be dealing with it, and then and it's a great shot from Podence. Tries to beat him, but really good save from Pickford, because he could have easily been beaten there, but a good strong hand to tip it away for a corner.
He would have been very disappointed, Jordan Pickford, who's coming under pressure as far as his England place is concerned, due to the outstanding form of Nick Pope at Burnley, as the deep corner is headed on by Doherty into the penalty area and eventually flicked away by the head of Davis, headed back by Saiss. It's like head tennis at the minute on the edge of the area. There's another header by Doherty, flicked on by Bolly. Eventually it comes down. The acrobatic effort in the end from Jimenez. He took two touches before wheeling away to the overhead kick, and it was straight at Pickford. That would have been some goal. Was it the knee and the thigh?
Yeah, it was brilliant from Jimenez. He pinned the defender and just kept it up. He just kept it with his head, his knee. Yeah, he kept it with his feet, flicked up to his knee, and then the overhead kick. It was a brilliant bit of skill, Deno, but a comfortable save from Pickford.
Morrison-esque, that?
Yes. But the problem is his mind would have gone into Rose Ed.
But Pickford earlier with Podence, who's got, there's little flashes where all of a sudden he just comes alive. Does the Portuguese player who they signed from Olympiacos? He only scored 5 goals in about 27 appearances for Olympiacos, as Johnny joins the attack, edge of the area, and they're appealing for a penalty. Johnny had his legs taken away from him. Was it Walcott in the challenge? Anthony Taylor has said it's a corner kick. Yeah,
I think Walcott was running at pace, but I don't think there was much in it. I think Anthony Taylor, the referee, gets the right decision. No, he just slips over Johnny. Yeah.
So it'll be a corner kick. There was nothing in it with he and Walcott. Walcott actually was taken out by Johnny, if anything, looking at it again. Corner kick then for Wolverhampton Wanderers, 0-0. Neves hits it in low, didn't beat the first man, swept away by Richarlison in the brilliant sunshine here at Molyneux, and we're approaching the half-hour mark on BBC Radio 5 Live, and it's still 0-0. Cody curls it out towards Neto, chance for the ball to settle, wouldn't then run with him, just got stuck a little bit on the surface there for Neto as he went to try and get past Walcott. So as a result, Wolves go back, and then a searching diagonal ball looking towards Doherty, and he doesn't keep the ball in, and it will go out for a goal kick. But Wolves, just a couple of those efforts there in the last few minutes with Podence and Jimenez, and Pickford making a couple of saves.
Yeah, I think what Wolves are trying to get Everton to do is come out of their shape, because when they come out of their shape, they can break in midfield like Dendoncker did there, trying to play Johnny in. But yeah, in the last 5 minutes, Wolves have looked the better team and creating a few opportunities.
33 of their 45 goals this season have arrived in the second half, which is surprising when you consider that this is a Wolves side that is pushing for a place in Europe for next season. Of course, they are still in Europe, their first European campaign since 80-81 under Nuno Espirito Santo last year. and still harbouring hopes of progressing in the Europa League as play has stopped. Yerry Mina is down, and he's just gone flat on his back. Not too sure whether that's due to exhaustion in the heat or whether because of the pain that he's in as the physio just extends his right leg, and it might be a thigh injury here for Yerry Mina. They've got Sidibe, who's on the bench in terms of defensive options, as well as Seamus Coleman. So Carlo Ancelotti will look on, and for the time being it's Seamus Coleman who's one of the substitutes who's warming up. So they'll wait to see as some of the players again are taking some liquid refreshment on board. We've been playing for half an hour. Who do you say has had the better of it then so far, a third of the way through this game, Clinton?
I'd say Wolves. I'd say Everton would be happy because they've come here with a game plan to not obviously concede and be defensively strong and try and play on the counter-attack with players like Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. But I'd probably say Wolves, I'd say Everton are the happiest and Wolves will be disappointed, but Wolves have probably been the better team. They've created the most chances without being clinical in the final third. I was just watching the replay there of Yerry Mina, how he picked up the injury. Well, for one, he's bringing the ball out as a centre half and he's trying to do shapes Deno, and I think that's where he's maybe picked up an injury, and he's maybe, as you said, got a thigh strain.
Well, he's not going to continue because he's going to be hobbling off, and Everton are going to be forced into a change, and Seamus Coleman is going to have to come on to replace the Colombian. So we're going to have to see how they change and jiggle things around at the back, bearing in mind that they were playing with the three central defenders and Baines and Walcott with the wing backs. Michael Keane will go central.
Yeah, I think Seamus will go on the right hand side where Keane is. Keane will go central with Digne, which is not bad because Seamus has got more pace anyway and can play that position and probably can deal with Pedence anyway, who makes them little darting runs at Neto. So all in all, I know they've lost a big guy, but that's another height though. That's what I'm thinking then. Mina is a big, strong defender, and they've lost a bit of height with Seamus Coleman coming on, but Seamus Coleman's a brilliant defender. So
they maintain the three central defenders rather than going to a flat back four, and so Coleman now right of the three, Keane in the centre, and Digne as the left of that three. But essentially you've got two fullbacks playing in a three-man central defence. Saiss almost caught out in possession from Anthony Gordon. Nice little footwork from the Moroccan, back towards the goalkeeper Patricio, quickly gets it out from underneath his feet inside his 6-yard area in the shadows of the stand away towards our right, and clears away downfield. Headed forward then by Digne. Stretching was Baines, picked up by Neves, and now dropping back into the centre circle it was Neto. Out to Saiss, forward ball delivered with pace to the feet of Pedence, who lifts it forward. Jimenez waits for it to drop, headed up and a little bit away by Digne. Wolves, though, back in possession. Doherty joins the attack and then plays it a little bit backward of square towards Neto, and no foul, says referee Anthony Taylor, as that challenge on Pedence came in, who's feeling the side of his left knee, and it goes all the way back to Pickford, who sportingly puts it out of play because Pedence is struggling. He's on his knees and he continues to rub. That might be a dead leg for him. Yeah,
Seamus, I think Seamus Coleman coming in the back of him, but the referee, he did get the ball, but yeah, you can see his knees probably caught the side of his thigh, so yeah, that could be a dead leg. You have to try and run them off there now, because if they stiffen up, you're in big trouble.
As well as our three more commentaries to bring you in the Premier League, we'll also be keeping up to date with two vital games in the Championship at both ends of the table. Stoke City need the points in their fight against relegation at home to Birmingham City. It's a 1:30 kick-off, as is the game at the Liberty Stadium, where Swansea, with a win, would move into a playoff position against the leaders Leeds United, who require 7 points as it stands for automatic promotion. And Leeds remain top after West Bromwich Albion dropped points yesterday under pressure from Brentford, who really are rallying very, very hard for a place in the top two themselves. So that's to look forward to. We'll keep you abreast of that on BBC Radio 5 Live. 12 minutes to go to half-time here at Molyneux, and it is still 0-0. Davis back to Keane. Everton playing from left to right. Sigurdsson, central position midway through his own half. Back to Davis, very, very deep. Hardly mentioned Richarlison. Can't get into the game.
No, he's just cutting a frustrated figure. His head, his body language. If I'm watching the game here, I'm watching Richarlison, I'm thinking to myself, come on, get into the game. I need my talisman to get in, and you can see when passes are going in straight, his body language doesn't look good. So I think Ancelotti will want to get Richarlison back into this game more often, because at the moment he's not been nowhere near it.
He is a player who can make things happen for Everton, but at the minute he's been by and large anonymous in this first half of 34 minutes that it's 0-0. Patricio clears away downfield. Johnny shrugs off Walcott, gets goal side 2, able to run forward. Little slip by Digne, but he recovered well. Mind you, the pass was closer to Digne than it was to Neto, who was just peeling away. That could have been problems for Everton. Sigurdsson plays deep and then out towards Digne, coming forward. Still 0-0. Forward ball. Gordon takes it on the turn. Challenge from Dendoncker, and he takes a tumble, and the free kick to Everton is taken quickly by Anthony Gordon. Sigurdsson gets it back then from Digne. The pace from Everton is quite predictable at the minute.
Yes,
they're playing in front of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Spot on, then. It's slow. That's what you want the centre forwards to make runs in behind to stretch the game, and then the space will open up in front. But everything's in front of Wolves, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable for Wolves, and then they end up giving the ball away just like that.
And Wolves now in possession. Saiss early. Podence was always going to lose out in the air to Michael Keane. That was a mismatch. Jimenez coming from deep, just outside the centre circle. Dendoncker is ahead of him, back to Jimenez, just outside the D. Johnny is in a central area. Neto provides the width, near side the left. Held up by Walcott, looks to go on the outside. Neto, pacey ball in, headed away by Digne, tucked in. It's going to be picked up by Neves. Midway through the Everton half, over on that far side. Podence is ahead of him, and he goes all the way back to Bolly. And that will give a chance for Everton to regroup. As now with Cody along the ground on this lush green surface here at Molyneux, looking resplendent in the sunshine. Neves, centre circle, Saiss. And Wolves now slow things down, and we've been 9 minutes to go to half time, and that statistic of Wolves only leading in 5 of their previous 34 games in the Premier League at half time might be extended in terms of either a draw or a defeat. 5 wins, 13 draws, and 16 games where they've been behind at the break. It is an incredible statistic for a team that is doing so well in the top half of the table. Coleman is fouled, free kick, fouled by Neto.
Yeah, that is a crazy statistic, to be fair. I think, Deno, you saying that there might not be a lot of goals earlier. I hope you're wrong, mate. I hope you're wrong. There'll be some goals, most definitely.
Well, we've only seen 7 in their last 6 involving Wolverhampton Wanderers, and at the minute we're yet to have one, as Coleman will just step forward and get there before Neto. And stepping out of defence was Cody. Didn't get enough of the ball, but enough to take it away from Richarlison. Dendoncker now in a central area, out towards Saiss. Along the ground, sliding with Sigurdsson, cuts it out. It comes back to Saiss. Jimenez, forward, laid off then by Johnny. Comes over the halfway line, the Mexican, caught by Sigurdsson. Loose ball, cleared by Walcott, up towards Gordon. And that is an aimless ball. Richarlison was never going to get on the end of that, and it's through to Patricio, who will bowl the ball out and tries to switch play out towards the right hand side. We've got about 7.5 minutes to go to half time. Dendoncker searching, diagonal ball. Johnny's made the run forward. Walcott will go back with him. Johnny waits, joining him is Neto. First time cross comes in now from Neto towards the far post. Pickford's lost it. Wasn't a comfortable take at all from Jordan Pickford. They were able to get away with it though, were Everton.
Yeah, I think his defender was in his way, but yeah, Michael Keane was there to clear it up. But Everton need to get hold of the ball then, because when they've been in possession, they haven't been good enough. I know they're still in this game, and probably Ancelotti will be happy, but they just have to be a bit better in the final third on the ball.
The voice of Clinton Morrison on BBC Radio 5 live here at Molyneux. Sigurdsson turns just outside the centre circle, along the ground to Walcott. You think if Traore could come on the field of play, that would liven things up for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
It would, but I think if you're Baines and Digne, you're thinking no. With 25 minutes to go, you don't want to see the sight of Traore coming on, because you're thinking, I've been playing in the heat for 70 minutes. It's a difficult one. Neto.
Backpedaling is Coleman. Took a little bit of a deflection off Sigurdsson on its way through. Jimenez will switch play to Doherty. Brings it under control, flicks it forward. Podence drops his shoulder, right corner of the penalty area, back heels the ball, it goes forward. Doherty then back towards Podence. Joining the attack is Dendoncker, very congested on that right hand side. There's golden shirts of Wolverhampton Wanderers playing from right to left as we have just over 5 minutes to go to half time, and it's still goalless on 5 Live. Seiss, forward ball, they've worked it neatly, keeping the ball. Johnny, back to Seiss once more. Cody runs into the centre circle. Not much pressure being applied to Cody. Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin were happy for him to have the ball in that area of the field. Out it goes towards Doherty. They're having to be patient, the home side. Then Donker, Neves. Jimenez has made the run. Instead it's chipped out. The referee actually has to duck, all in black. Anthony Taylor, as Johnny's cross is blocked by the body of Gordon, and it goes out of play for a throw on this near side. Moutinho's the more ball boy. He picks it up quite quickly.
Yeah, good ball boy, isn't he? He said, come on, I want to get this attack started quickly.
They're looking for a goal. They're looking to try and get the first goal of the afternoon here at Molyneux on BBC Radio 5 Live. Neves. 50-50 challenge. Calvert-Lewin felt that one against Seiss. He hobbled away and it goes out of play, and it'll be a Wolves throw midway through the Everton half. Jimenez returns it towards Johnny, closed down by Walcott, and goes out of play for another throw.
Then I can see there Ancelotti. It's good there where you can see everything. He's having a right moan at Richarlison there, and he's talking to him, and I think he's saying to him, we need more from you. You're our talisman, we need more.
Johnny with a throw. Nice first touch from Podence. Seiss almost sold short, had to hurriedly play the ball infield. Dendoncker just outside the centre circle, turns. Back it goes to Neves. Forward then to Neto. Going to be closed down by Sigurdsson. Points where he thinks Neto is going to make the run, and in fact Neto does run into that area left side of the penalty box, and then as Jimenez plays it back, Neto had stopped running and it runs out of play for a throw, and the move breaks down and it will go out of play for an Everton throw deep inside their own half. But there's not much movement for Everton. In fact, through the sweat of his hands, it was didn't get much leverage on that at all, did Walcott with a throw. Lacked power, slipped out of his grasp. They've still got the ball though as a result. Davis, Johnny's gone down off the ball. Walcott nicks it past Seiss, but covering is Cody. Good anticipation from Connor Cody.
He reads the game well, then. I think he's been brilliant this season, Connor Cody. In particular, when they play that free and he's the middleman, he's been excellent.
Been a good servant for Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, we talked before about the fact that how regular he's been playing in what this is now his 73rd successive game in the top flight, but been a really good buy for Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's a fine ambassador for the club as well, especially when you hear him speak, so eloquent.
Yeah, I agree with you, definitely. We did an interview with him on 5 Live, and I thought he was excellent the way he spoke. He's brilliant.
3 minutes to go to half time. Still Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Everton 0. Neves, Johnny near side. Wolves playing from right to left. Forced to go back, keeping the ball. Here is the aforementioned Connor Cody. Nicks it out towards Bolly. Podence has come 10 yards short of the halfway line to collect that ball in his own half, and then just rolls it back. The little casual back heel to Doherty. Lifts it in the air, controlled by Seiss. Again, nice comfortable pace about Wolves, just keeping it around at the back. Forward ball, Podence has gone into a central area, rode up a little bit, had to control it with his thigh, went away from him. Dino put him under pressure. Everton have got it. Here is Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson has been in a very deep central area in the midfield. He's not been able to get into that final third to try and influence anything for Everton, who've struggled really to make an impact in this game in an attacking sense. There was a tame shot that was comfortably saved by Patricio. There was the cross whipped in from the right by Walcott, but by and large they've very rarely threatened Everton in this first half. 2 minutes to go to half time, and now they're on the back foot as Podence picks up the ball on that far side, level with the penalty area, and then it breaks down and he hops away in frustration in his black tracksuit, does Nuno Espirito Santo, with that greying beard. It'll be a greying beard through frustration with moves like that.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed. You know, they've had loads of possession, but they haven't used the ball well enough in the final third, Wolves, so far.
Forward ball from Coleman, and that runs out to Patricio. Another wicket at the cricket, Ellie.
Yeah, Mark Wood's first over, and he's struck straight away. Real pace from the Durham man, bowling from the pavilion end and playing on again, taking out the off stump. And it is really getting tricky for the West Indies now. Don't forget they're chasing 200 to win after England added 29 this morning, bowled out for 313. But that is Shea Hope, who is a dangerous player for the West Indies. Already scored a couple of fours in one Jimmy Anderson over, but he is out for 9, and the West Indies 27 for 3.
Thanks, Ellie. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. You've not missed anything whilst you've been away. It's still 0-0. Only one of your former clubs, Clinton, Crystal Palace, with 10, have scored fewer first half goals than Wolves this season, as Bolly has to try and watch the run of Calvert-Lewin on the edge of the area. Nothing materialises from that. Yeah,
Palace are a second half team. They always have been, and then at that time they struggled to score a lot of goals anyway, but they've had a really good season this season so far, Palace.
Wolves are in danger of failing to score in 16 of their last 19 games in the first half. Mind you, they did have had the odd opportunity. I wouldn't say it's been a thriller, this game here at Molyneux in the sunshine. 2 minutes of added on time. By and large, it's been quite played at a sedate pace for large periods of the first 45 minutes. Pedence had an opportunity saved by Pickford. We had an acrobatic effort from Jimenez that was easily saved by England's goalkeeper away towards our left, but Wolves will maybe have one last chance of an attack as Doherty will venture forward in his right wing back role out to Pedence, level of the penalty area. Neto is behind him if he wants him, tries to wriggle his way in between Gordon and Baines, and that's a penalty because Pedence is fouled, and Anthony Taylor without any hesitation points to the spot, and Wolves now have an opportunity to score a goal in the first half. It was Digne the offender.
Did tell you, didn't you? He's been rash all game. I don't understand what he's doing, making a tackle. It's a stupid tackle because Pedence has got nowhere to go, and it's a really silly tackle. Yeah, he kicks through the back of his leg, and Anthony Taylor gets the right decision. But Digne again, poor defending from me.
He was going away from the penalty area as well, wasn't he? So Wolves have an opportunity now to score a rare goal in the first half, and it will be Raul Jimenez, who's enjoying the best scoring season of his career, a chance to hit the 25 goal mark this season. He has scored all 6 penalties for Wolves in his career. He places the ball down on the spot, and he's up against Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford is told to get back on his goal line, all in green, jumping up and down, touches the crossbar with both hands by referee Anthony Taylor. Raul Jimenez waits, hands on hips. So it's in away towards our left-hand side. There's the whistle from referee Anthony Taylor. Jimenez runs up now, a little bit of a stuttering run up, and Jimenez maintains his 100% record from the spot for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who take the lead. It was comfortably chipped past Pickford. Comfortable penalty, and Wolves take the lead 1-0. Jimenez.
Yeah, it's a confident penalty from a confident player who's had an outstanding season. He does the little stutter. I'm not one for that, Deno, but he's got the composure and it's a brilliant finish. He watches Pickford all the time and then sends him the wrong way. And yeah, it's a deserved lead for Wolves. They've been the better team, but it's stupid defending from Digne on the stroke of half time. Ancelotti will not be happy with that.
No, he won't. It was Digne with a foul on Pedence, and so the first goal comes from a penalty spot, and Wolverhampton Wanderers take the lead by 1-0. It's Wolves who are 7th in the table. This would take them back above Sheffield United if they were to get the 3 points as they look for European football again next season. And we've talked before about how they've only been leading in 5 of the previous 34 in the Premier League at half time. Well, that statistic will change, and only their 13th goal that they've scored in the first half of games this season. But it's enough, and as you say, I think they probably warrant the lead, because if there's one side who've been looking to try and seize the initiative, it is the home team against an Everton side who've made very little impact in that final third.
Yeah, I agree. Wolves look like the team that wanted to come and win this football match.
So there is the half-time whistle, and it is Wolverhampton Wanderers who lead through that Jimenez penalty on the stroke of half-time. In added on time after Deeney with a foul on Podence and Jimenez with a right-footed chip. Pickford got the wrong way, and it was a confident penalty take from Raul Jimenez. Takes his tally to 25, and Wolverhampton Wanderers, in the first of 4 commentaries, are leading Everton 1-0 at half-time.
Yep, 1-0 at half-time at Molyneux then. Clinton Morrison alongside Ian Dennis, our commentary team there. Clinton, you mentioned Luca Digne early on in that first half. He was really getting up your nose, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's just rash. I like him, and I've liked him as a defender, but I just feel in the last few games when I've watched him, it's like he's losing his head, and I've always liked him as a defender. And after that, I was going to eat my words and say it defended well after I had a go at him in the first half. But then that's a rash tackle, and Carlo Ancelotti will not be happy about that. Podence is going nowhere. He's going away from goal, and Digne just kicked out at him. I don't understand it. I can understand when defenders are trying to nick the ball and someone's travelling in that pace, but he just has to stand up. He's not going to danger. He's going away from goal. So Ancelotti won't be happy, because you can see Everton have come here with a game plan to keep it as tight as possible and try and play counter-attacking football. But Wolves have been the better team and deserve to go in 1-0 ahead.
And as fans, we constantly hear about the importance of scoring goals at certain points in the game, and just before half-time is always cited as a great time to score. As an ex-professional, just try and explain that a little bit for the likes of people like me and lots of people listening to this who may not necessarily understand it.
If you're the team that's just scored before half-time, you're going in there buzzing. It changes the manager's team talk, because Nuno would have probably said, he would have been frustrated to say, how are we not winning this football match? We're dominating, not creating any clear-cut chances, so we need to be better in the final third. And then he probably would have gave it another 15-20 minutes and then looked to change it. But now his team talk's totally different. They just have to keep going, and Wolves can go on and win the game. As for Carlo Ancelotti, he'll be fuming when he goes in there, because he'll saying, we've done ever so well. They've probably, as I said, got a game plan to keep it as tight as possible and play on a counter-attack. But then when Digne does the tackle that he does there, it's a silly decision from him, and he's an experienced player who's played at a lot of top clubs as well. He'll be disappointed, Ancelotti, so his team talk will be totally different now as well.
Right, Clinton, Ian, go and grab yourselves a cup of coffee or a tea, depending on what you like. Maybe a hot chocolate or a cold drink. Who knows?
Hot chocolate's the one, mate.
You guys will be back to take us through the second half. 1-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers against Everton at Molyneux there. Right, we'll discuss more sport, more fixtures. It's all coming at you here on 5 Live Sport, but we'll do it after the latest 5 Live news. Here's Richard Foster.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove says he doesn't think face masks should be compulsory in shops in England because he trusts people's common sense. Ministers are considering whether face coverings should be mandatory. A pilot from North Lanarkshire is finally coming home after spending more than 2 months on life support in Vietnam. Stephen Cameron, who's 42 and from Motherwell, is said to have been the sickest COVID patient in the area. £705 million is going to be spent on managing Britain's borders as the UK prepares to leave the EU customs union at the end of the year. There'll be new control posts and 500 extra border force staff. Labour says the government's being complacent in its preparations. Sussex police say that they've made 13 arrests after a large group of people became aggressive towards officers in the centre of Shoreham last night. Police were called to reports of a man damaging a car. And a search and rescue operation's taking place in the Channel after several boats carrying migrants were spotted trying to reach the UK. More than 2,000 people have made the crossing from France so far this year.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
Travel, and just a couple of problems to mention. Northamptonshire and the M1 southbound, one lane's closed. Slow traffic because of a breakdown from junction 18 at Rugby to 17 at Dunchurch and Coventry, where it meets the M45. And in Berkshire on the westbound M4, the road's closed across the weekend till the early hours of tomorrow for roadworks between junction 8-9 at Maidenhead and junction 10 at Wokingham and Bracknell, currently causing queues to halfway back to junction 7 at Slough West. Richard Foster, 5 Live Travel.
Hear the best of 5 Live Sport on BBC Sounds with Tailenders.
It's one of Brody's favourite stories. My dad was talking through a net session where he was trying to bowl outswing, but it was going the other way. It was going into the right-hander. He said to Brody, he was like, after about 30 years, I realised that was reverse swing.
And the 606 Savage Social.
Roy Keane had the biggest influence on me as a person and never allowed any player to get away with any form of indiscipline, dropping standards, and that's why for me he was the best that I'd ever played with.
Sport on Sounds. All your 5 Live favourites. Listen using the BBC Sounds app. This is 5 Live Sport.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome back to 5 Live Sport with me, Nick Bright, over on 5 Live Sports Extra. It's day 5 of the first test between England and the West Indies. Eleanor Oldroyd is at Southampton and it's getting exciting, Ellie.
Yeah, it's been very much England's morning here in the sunshine in Southampton. Nick, West Indies are 31 for 3. England added another 29 runs to their overnight total this morning. 23 of them coming from Jofra Archer. And then Archer has taken 2 wickets. Craig Brathwaite for 4. Shamar Brooks for a duck, and he's also put John Campbell back in the pavilion with an injured big toe after he hit him on the foot. Mark Wood got Shea Hope in his first over for 9. And joining me is not only England's highest scoring test batsman, Sir Alistair Cook, but also the most successful delivery organiser on the South Coast. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the curry last night. It was very, very good and well organised too. But you've got to say, you look at a chase of 200 and you think that's not a lot of runs for West Indies to chase, but in conditions like this it looks a long way away now.
We're now seeing why Ben Stokes chose to bat first when everyone was questioning that decision. This pitch is quite hard to score, and then something happens, something keeps low, one goes through a little bit at the top, and it has uneven bounce. So it's 200, you're always in the game trying to get it. If one of these two build a partnership, then England will start to get worried, but it's going to be very hard for the West Indies. England have been brilliant to start. It started with James Anderson, really. The first ball was right on it, the first over, and made and gave him nothing. Backed up by Jofra, who got the wickets. Those two bowled brilliantly in the partnership. And then Mark Wood came and got a wicket. It's working well for Ben Stokes. Don Bess is bowling now. Jermaine Blackwood will not play a defensive shot against a spinner 5 minutes before lunch, so it's all happening down here.
It's very interesting, isn't it? This test match has kind of flipped around. First innings was all West Indies, second innings has been about England, really.
Yeah, it was England fighting back in that third innings by getting 300. Even both times England batted, I think they probably left some runs out there. But it's one of those first innings versus fourth innings games, isn't it? They chose to bat when it was harder with the overhead conditions, when the wicket was better, knowing that they thought it was going to deteriorate. It's not a minefield by any stretch of imagination, but it's not an easy pitch to bat on. So that's why they've chosen to bowl in these conditions. The extra pace of Jofra Archer, Mark Wood, rather than picking Stuart Broad. And we'll see if all these decisions were right at the end in probably about 4 or 5 hours' time.
Yeah, the decision made by the selectors and the decision made by Ben Stokes at the toss, Nick, both have come under a lot of scrutiny over the last few days, so they will be hoping that they will be justified in the end. Not long to go to lunch, probably maybe 1-2 more overs to go before then. 31 for 3 is the West Indies score. They're chasing 200 to win, and we do hear that John Campbell, if he is required to bat again, he will be able to do so. But we saw some shots of him in the West Indies dressing room with his foot elevated on a lot of towels and a lot of ice on it. Very painful getting hit on the toe by a Jofra Archer Yorker. 31 for 3, test match special continuing over on 5 Live Sports Extra.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ellie. What a surreal experience it must be being down there in Southampton, not only in the biosphere, but being delivered curries by England's most successful batsman in Alistair Cook. I envy every aspect of that.
Nick, are you still with us? Can you still hear me? Yeah, because we're just getting a review at the moment. This is a Dom Bess appeal for LBW. Alistair, just thinking maybe a little bit high, perhaps?
Well, there's enough doubt. Roston Chase is a tall man. It has turned. It's going to be. There's a lot of things to get right. Whether it's a lot of doubt actually on the umpire to see. You can see why he's given it not out. He's got to hit him in line, turning ball, and how much it's bounced. Again, we are a long way away from the action now. Watching the replays. But England
looks pretty close, doesn't it?
Well, it's definitely close. It's gone to there's gone to the surface. Well, that's going to be out. I think that's going to be out.
This is a big moment here, Nick. Sorry to delay you from all the stuff you've got to do at half-time. But, yeah, Roston Chaser, very straight-legged in his stance, and that ball hitting him on the back leg.
It's the only thing that's going to save him. It's going to be hitting the stumps, whether it's umpire's call. The umpire's giving it not out, so if it's only clipping the stumps, he will stay with that decision.
Yeah, umpire's call, just clipping the stump, so that means that as it was given not out on the field, it is not out, but that is agonisingly close, tantalisingly close. 31 for 3, Roston Chase survives, Nick.
Very close indeed, and no need to apologise. Live sport is the most important thing right now. Speaking of which, Lewis Hamilton takes pole position at the Styrian Grand Prix in Austria today. You can hear full commentary on the BBC Sport website. The race gets underway at 2:10. F1 presenter Jenny Gow is with us now. Jenny, Lewis looked unstoppable in the rain yesterday, didn't he?
Oh, it was a lap, wasn't it? Just the most magnificent lap as the rain poured down, cars aquaplaning all over the place, but he managed to keep it on track, and he was 1.2 seconds faster than anybody else on that pole lap. He was formidable.
Which, you know, it should be explained to anybody that's not necessarily the biggest F1 fan. A second is like, 10 years in F1.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was an eon away from anybody else. And actually, I saw a great graphic yesterday evening on social media that tried to show it comparatively. And I would suggest that he was like 2 pages ahead of anybody else. And then there was a whole pack kind of bunched up together. But yeah, I mean, 1.2 seconds is an incredibly long way. I think it's only been done twice before that someone's had a bigger margin when it comes to qualifying. So a huge pace advantage for him on qualifying.
What are we expecting today then, Jenny?
Oh, I hope it's like last week. Last week's race was awesome. Lots of unpredictability, lots of reliability issues. In fact, only 8 cars had to retire from the race last weekend out of 20. So it's a high race of attrition. Let's see what happens. But Hamilton being alongside Max Verstappen, it's a short sort of hill up to the first turn, and that's going to make it a fascinating start. Verstappen's going to want to beat Hamilton from the offset. Whether he'll be able to is another matter, and there's lots of people snapping around their heels. So should be a really good race today.
Yeah, very exciting indeed. Thank you very much, Jenny. You can hear full commentary on the BBC Sport website. As I say, race gets underway at 2:10. Right, our 2:15 commentary game is Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. Vicky Sparks and Michael Brown are at Villa Park. And Vicky, I just wanted to start with some sour news, actually, with Wilfried Zaha's tweet about some racist abuse.
Yeah, it's disgusting, really, Nick. Wilfried Zaha in the last hour has tweeted, "Woke up to this today," and I will not mention what he has retweeted, but he has received some absolutely shocking racist abuse on social media, and it just shows. We will see the players take the knee for Black Lives Matter again at the start of this match, as they're doing across the Premier League. This is a problem that needs to be eradicated. It's not football's problem solely. We know that this happens all across society, but things need to keep being done, statements need to keep being made, but ultimately things need to change, and whatever can contribute to that. But you just feel for a player like Wilfried Zaha, who wakes up this morning, he's looking forward to showing his skill, showing his talent, had a brilliant game against Chelsea, scored the absolute worldie, full of life, full of energy, turns on his phone, and that's what he has to deal with on social media, and no human being should have to deal with that, and it is so shocking and disappointing that we're still seeing this.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting, and people should be ashamed of themselves for even having those thoughts enter their mind. But let's turn our attention to the game. It's must win for Villa today, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, yeah, win or bust, I think, for Aston Villa pretty much this afternoon. Winning is something they haven't done since mid-January. Just 2 points from their last 10 matches, scoring just 5 times in that run. And to pile on the misery, sorry, Villa fans, it was a terrible day for them results-wise yesterday, with Watford and West Ham both winning. It means they start the day 7 points adrift of safety in 19th. And Michael Brown alongside me for this one. It really is pretty much win or bust, isn't it, this afternoon against Crystal Palace?
After yesterday's results, it looks vital, and it's a team they're playing in Crystal Palace. Who is this? The team who are going to see out the season, not really be at full throttle. So it's a fantastic opportunity, but I think that the spirits will be a bit low after yesterday's results. They'll know the urgency in this game, but it's about scoring goals at home. I think the last 4 home games, only 1 goal. 2 goals in the last 7, so that starts to tell you the need to try and get a formation that can score goals very, very quickly.
Michael, I just wanted to get your take on it. We were talking a little bit earlier on the squad. Do you think Villa, it's too late for them to turn it around now?
Well, I'll be able to tell you after this game, Nick. It's going to be a real big one for them. They'll be aware of it. It doesn't look great, does it, when you look at the league table, the run that they've been on with confidence. They had some players come back after, obviously, the break we've had, and I expect them to do a little bit better, but it's goals. They just can't seem to score these goals and the opportunities. Yeah, I still say they were a little bit unfortunate in the game against Manchester United with the decision, which sets off the tone. So they'll also say at Sheffield United they were fortunate. So it comes around, and they need to look after themselves. They need to do better, and it's a huge game. I'm really looking forward to this game. I want to try and see a reaction from Aston Villa.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much, Michael and Vicky Sparks there at Villa Park. Full commentary of that game at 2:15, Villa against Crystal Palace. Couple of championship games this afternoon as well. Stoke City against Birmingham City, and Swansea take on Leeds. But our first commentary game of the afternoon is back underway, and let's get back to our commentary team of Ian Dennis and Clinton Morrison for Wolves against Everton.
It is, where Wolves lead by 1-0, and Everton have made a change as well at half-time. Remember, they made one during the first half with Seamus Coleman coming on for Yerry Mina, but at half-time they brought on another defender, Jared Branthwaite, making his Everton debut. He's 18 years of age, as Neto will take the free kick, and a touch header from Dendoncker, and Wolves increase their lead. That's the perfect start to the second half for Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's Wolves 2, Everton 0, and Wolves are heading back to winning ways.
Yeah, it's a good ball in by Neto, and it's a free header from Dendoncker. Everton have not been nowhere near it today. It's poor defending. There was no one near Dendoncker, and it's a great header past Pickford into the bottom corner.
It's a lovely arcing ball in, and it was able to be guided in by just the lovely touch by Dendoncker, always going away from Jordan Pickford. And Leo Dendoncker with his 6th goal. And all of a sudden it's just gone from bad to worse in a matter of seconds. Within the restart, it's Wolves now who lead Everton by 2-0. But it was a lovely ball in from Neto on this near side, the right, and Dendoncker makes it 2. So Everton, who made very little impact in that first half, now really do have their work cut out. And so Jared Branthwaite, I was telling you, is coming on to replace Leighton Baines. He's 18 years of age. It's his Everton debut after being signed from Carlisle in January for £1 million. He made 14 appearances for Carlisle this season. Quite tall, short, blonde hair, slotting in alongside Michael Keane. And I would imagine now that they've gone to a flat back 4 now, haven't they, Everton, as a result, with Digne as a left back and Coleman as a right back. So they've got Walcott, Davis, Sigurdsson and Gordon is the midfield, and Richarlison up front alongside Calvert-Lewin. That was the change by Carlo Ancelotti, making it at the start of the second half, and before they're able to make any sort of impact, they find themselves 2-0 down, Clinton.
Yeah, and you're spot on. I think Everton are better in a 4. They tried to match Wolves up, and you can see they struggled massively in the first half, and Walcott was doing too much defending and not enough attacking. But you don't want that after you've made a change, and then to concede straight after half-time is devastating.
There is a player down, and it is Neto who's picked up a knock. The Wolves side, as we watch him writhe in agony down below. Patricio in goal, a back 3 of Seiss, Cody and Bolly, Doherty and Johnny, the wing backs right and left respectively, and then Dendoncker, Neves, Podence with Neto and Jimenez. And Wolves in their golden shirts and black shorts playing from left to right against an Everton team in their royal blue shirts and white shorts. But Everton, who don't have a particularly good record of here at Molyneux, they've only won just 3 of their last 17 away games here in the top flight. 2011 was the last time that they actually triumphed. Phil Neville was in fact among the goal scorers that day in a 3-0 success. But well, they've got it all to do now. 2-0 down. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, I can't see them getting back in it, because I've not really seen anything going forward for Everton. I might be wrong, I might eat my words, but at the moment I think it's been comfortable for Wolves, and you just look and you think, who else can they bring on? Moise Keane and Bernard and Iwobi, but I think they've only got, they can only make they've made the two, made one in the first half, one in the start of the second half. So they're going to can make 3 more substitutions at 1 more point. So it'd be surprising to see who he does bring on, but they need a bit more thrust going forward, definitely, Denham.
So Wolverhampton Wanderers, who are looking to go above Sheffield United, 6th in the Premier League table, lead by 2-0. Jimenez, well, in fact, it's been a damaging 2 goals either side of half-time. When you think that the first goal was scored in injury time from the penalty spot, that needless penalty given away by Digne, and Jimenez, who's actually scored now in all 4 appearances against Everton for Wolves, maintained his 100% record from the spot in his Wolves career, takes his tally to 25 for the season. And then Dendoncker popping up, latching onto the end of that free kick on this near side the right, delivered by Neto, as Wolves play from left to right and leading by 2-0. And here is Neto, who just steps on the inside of Gordon to Neves, plays it forward. Dendoncker, who's provided that cushion now for the home side. Doherty away from Digne. Neves will switch play out towards that far side, bounces onto the chest of Johnny, level with the penalty area, and leading 2-0, rolled forward, and this is Podence, just drops it, pulls it back, and the shot that was fired in by Neves is over the top. The majority of his goals have been scored outside the area, couldn't find his range off that right foot this time. It was high and wide, and it's a goal kick, but Wolves still comfortable 2-0.
Yeah, it was good football from Wolves, and you fancy Ruben Neves in that position. You've seen him score a lot of terrific goals in that position, but it was a high and wide. But yeah, Wolves have come out the second half the same as the first half, on the front foot.
Everton, who've lacked consistency since the restart. They got that draw in the Merseyside derby against Liverpool. They won a couple of games, but then of course they've lost one as well. And here they find themselves 2-0 down against this Wolverhampton Wanderers side, looking to bounce back after those back-to-back defeats against Arsenal and Sheffield United. Out of play it goes for a throw. You could see what it meant for the Wolves bench as well with that second goal. They all gather in a huddle, don't they, and celebrate.
They always do that, though, Deno. It's good. There's a great togetherness in Nuno's backroom staff, and they all celebrate. Every one of the backroom staff jump on the bench and they get in a huddle together.
That exclusive that Sam Wallace had in the Telegraph about the Premier League sending letters warning them about social distancing clearly went unheeded with that huddle for the Wolves backroom staff, as Coleman, the substitute for Everton, makes a run forward. Now it's with Sigurdsson. Very, very tame. Everton have been so disappointing today. Gordon, lacklustre.
Yeah, you're spot on. Predictable, no energy, no tempo about their play. Everything's been too easy. High
ball in from Coleman, and easily caught by Patricio in the sunshine here at Molyneux. Wispy white clouds in the distance, and Patricio lays the ball down and then strikes it on the diagonal out towards that far side. Well, we've got 2 or 3 more commentaries to bring you, but 2 of them are down at the bottom of the table, where you think for Aston Villa and for Bournemouth, who are at home to Crystal Palace at 2:15, and then Bournemouth at home to Leicester at 7 o'clock, are must-win games, bearing in mind that the bottom 3 since restart haven't even produced, well, any win at all. Only 3 points they've picked up collectively in 17 games so far, but must win it is for Bournemouth, who are 6 adrift, bottom of the table, and for Aston Villa, who are 7 adrift. And after relegation Norwich yesterday, so yeah, bottom 3 for Bournemouth, 6 adrift, Aston Villa 7 adrift, as here Neto has gone down. And getting some treatment.
I can see Jota probably coming on for him. He went down with no one around him. He was in possession of the ball, and then he just kicked it out of play. And I don't know, maybe he's felt something, because he was down in the corner 5 minutes ago. So maybe it's an injury he can feel on his knee or something like that. But I can see Jota probably getting warmed up, ready to come on.
They angered a few Bournemouth supporters in midweek by saying that they lack fight. I think I'd have angered them even more there when I said bottom. I'd missed out the 3. They're in the bottom 3. Just a crucial detail. Whilst Neto continues to get treatment, just a reminder that some lovely words said yesterday in tribute to Jack Charlton from Mark Lawrenson, Johnny Giles, David O'Leary and our own correspondent John Murray. And there is a special Football Daily paying tribute to the England's World Cup winner and the former Republic of Ireland manager that you'll be able to hear and download from your usual podcasts sources. And of course the Football Daily tomorrow will have all the reflections on this host of Premier League games that are taking place throughout the day. And of course we've got more commentaries tomorrow for you. Manchester United against Southampton. Mark Chapman back with us in the Monday Night Club at Old Trafford tomorrow. As here Bernard is going to be coming on. Everton going to be making another change. In fact it's going to be a double change. So Bernard and Iwobi is the two players to be coming on. And it's going to be Walcott coming off and Gordon. So they're the double change being made. So Walcott unable to celebrate his landmark appearance, his 500th of his club career, without a goal.
So Deno, that means Everton can't make any more changes now.
They can make one more.
They can. You can make 4 of them. Yeah.
You can make a total of 5 at 3 different intervals, excluding half time.
Excluding half time.
So
there you go.
So the fact that Branthwaite came on at half time means that they have one more opportunity.
Yeah, that's the one I was missing. Yeah, because he came on at half time. That's why.
So they've used Iwobi, Bernard, Coleman
and
Branthwaite.
Yeah, that's right.
So secretly I'm hoping that Benny Beningame doesn't come on.
Oh, Beningame, yeah.
Because it's a little bit of a nightmare for the commentator.
Tricky one.
Yeah. So Walcott and Gordon go off. Iwobi and Bernard are on. And Everton are 2-0 down 11 minutes into the second half. Goals either side of half-time, putting Wolves in a very comfortable position, but a deserved lead it is nevertheless. That's Jota on the far side of the field, isn't it?
Yeah, he just came on for Neto.
So Neto unable to do. You've got to have your wits about you now. That's another reason why I don't want 5 substitutes for next season as well. It's a nightmare to be a commentator. You've got to have your wits about you. Doherty with a cross comes in, cut out by Everton and brought away. So Jota is on for Neto. Wolves lead by 2-0. Mentioned that we've got the 3 more commentaries to come. The next one, of course, hot on the heels of this, Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. And just break off because Johnny will run forward on the left-hand side, down by the corner flag, pulls it back. Jota looks up, then Donker's made the run into the penalty area, and it might reach Jota. No, cut out by Sigurdsson and plays it forward. So the team is then from Villa Park with Vicky Sparks.
One change for each side in this huge match for Aston Villa. Horahan comes in for El Ghazi for the home side, who drops to the bench. For Palace, Sacco replaces the injured Cahill.
And Michael Brown is alongside Vicky for our next commentary. Aston Villa against Crystal Palace here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Michael Keane gets a yellow card for wrapping the ankles of Jimenez, and he is the second Everton player to be booked here at Molyneux.
You don't want to have too much of a go, Deno, but when you're watching Everton, you're just thinking are they on the beach? Are they on the holidays already? Because I'm watching and I'm just thinking to myself, it's just been a bit poor. It's not been good enough for Everton, and they're better than this. And Ancelotti will not be happy. You can see him on the touchline. He's really frustrated. He keeps coming out, having goals at his players, throwing his arms up in the air. So he still wants more. So he doesn't think they're on the beach. So I expect a response from them.
You know, the thing is, since Mashiri took charge of Everton, he has spent £496 million on players. And if you were to say, are Everton better off for spending that amount of money now, or the prudent approach of David Moyes? I would take the prudent approach of David Moyes every single time, because Everton as a football club, for that amount of money, haven't progressed in my eyes.
No, they haven't. You're right. You're spot on. They haven't progressed, and you've got great fans there at Everton, and they must be disappointed because they look across the road and they see how good Liverpool have been doing, and they'll be disappointed. And that's a club, Everton, a great club like that. They should be doing better. They should be challenging for them top 6. We said it earlier.
But they've been overtaken by, Wolverhampton Wanderers, who admittedly have spent big themselves. But, Sheffield United and Burnley, and credit to their respective managers, Chris Wilder and Sean Dyche, but they've moved ahead of Everton this season. Everton are just really, really disappointing this afternoon. Podence with a corner kick for Wolves. It's an outswinger. It's headed away partially. Drops towards Jimenez, but that was handball as it rolled down his arm. And eventually the shot was saved by Pickford, but the referee's Anthony Taylor had already blown his whistle. So still work to do. Certainly gives you the measure of the job that faces Carlo Ancelotti, for all of his experience and the success that he's had in places such as Milan, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. They have made a little bit more progress if you compare where they have been and the points that they've picked up in his previous 16 games. But this has been such a tepid display from the away team, and Wolves lead by 2-0.
Yeah, it's not been good enough, Danny. You're spot on. If I'm a fan and I'm watching this game today, I'm disappointed because I want to see more from my team. I watched a game not too long ago, Southampton v Man City. And let me tell you something, Southampton got nothing to play for, but the running around they were doing, the closing down, you would have thought it was an FA Cup final the way they were playing. So I just think you just got to have a good end to the season. Some of these players have to play to prove to Ancelotti they want to stay at this football club, and if he wants to keep them.
Podence, they've worked it round the back. Podence looks up, time to cut the ball back. It's cut out by Keane, comes back to Podence and he tries to squeeze it in. Oh, that's a terrible mistake by Pickford. Has it crossed the line? The goalkeeper says no. Well, Pickford really was able to save his blushes because Podence got the shot away and Pickford let it slip through his grasp, and he dived and lunged backwards and somehow managed to claw it back off the goal line. Not very convincing at all. And a look at the referee's watch, and Anthony Taylor says it didn't cross the line, but that must have been close.
Lucky. It was poor defending again from Digne. He'd give up on Podence, didn't bother to get back in and help his teammates. And then Pickford, he's got to do better than that. His handling has to be much better than that. He lets it slip under him, and he's fortunate he didn't go over the line.
You can tell he's not happy with himself. He's away towards our right. He's looking up at the clear blue skies. He's shaking his head. He's now just crouching down as Everton attack, but that's headed away by Cody. I would like to see it again as Bernard brings the ball under control. Flicked forward by Coleman to Richarlison in the penalty area, closed out by Saiss, and it goes out for a goal kick. Especially after that incident that we had together, wasn't it, at Villa Park after the restart when goal line technology was let down. Now we're getting an opportunity to see it, and we saw that when we both said it had gone over. But on this occasion, it hadn't gone over.
He was very lucky.
He was very lucky.
Credit to him, his reactions to get back up and go back and stop it from going over the line. He did well, but it was a big mistake before that.
Well, as an England goalkeeper, you're always under scrutiny. And Jordan Pickford certainly finds himself under pressure given the form of Nick Pope. The thing is about Jordan Pickford is that he is, his own fiercest critic. He doesn't need necessarily commentators and pundits to tell him. He'll judge himself, but and you could see that when he was just shaking his head. He knew that he'd made the mistake, but to his credit he was able to rectify it. But now this is the fifth and final change, and it's going to be Moise Kean who's coming on. Tells you everything as well for Carlo Ancelotti that already in this game that it's Richarlison who's had a very disappointing game is the one to make way. That Carlo Ancelotti has used his substitutes as quickly as he has. I know that two of them have been injuries, but still just trying to freshen things up, shake Everton up, because they've been so poor.
Yeah, they have been poor, and he has made these substitutions now, so he's going to want a response.
Calvert-Lewin lays it back. Digne, the left back, now playing with a flat back four. It's a cross into the penalty area headed by Seamus Coleman and deflected away from Saiss, I think it was, and it goes out of play for a corner kick to Everton.
This is all you want, Deno, is I'm just looking down at Wolves' bench, and Digne, I've been a bit critical of him today, and then now they're bringing on Traore. So, all the best.
Amande Traore is coming on after this corner kick. Wolves lead by 2-0. Everton playing from right to left. Corner didn't beat the first man, and it will be flicked away by Podence from it reaching Bernard, who runs out towards this left-hand side to gather it in, little stumble, then loses out to Neves. Is the break on? Neves will get there first. He's hit the ball forward. What a weighted ball that is. And this is an opportunity for Jota here, and he's stumbled as he's faced one-on-one by Pickford. It's picked up by Jimenez in the penalty area, charges into the box, and with the outside of his right foot has carved it over the top, took a deflection, corner kick to Wolves.
He's not happy, Nuno. He's kicking the balls. He knows that it's a great opportunity for Jota, and you usually fancy Jota in that one-on-one position. It's a great ball from Ruben Neves, but that's from Everton's corner. They break. It's Wolves have got the desire to go and say, I want to score 3, and Everton, I'm looking at them, do you really want to get back and make a tackle? But it's a great opportunity from Jota, and it really should be 3-0 to Wolves. Good save from Pickford as well.
You think with Jota, he's gone 7 games without a goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers. When Jota's confident and in his goal-scoring form, you'd think he'd take that, and whether there was just that little bit of lack of confidence, that little bit of a hesitation, but it was Pickford who was able to deny him, and still Traore waits, getting his final instructions. Wolves lead by 2-0. 65 minutes played, hit Molyneux in the sunshine, corner on that far side, pulled out towards Johnny, infield to Neves. Everton will break, and then cleared by Coleman. But they had every Royal Blue shirt back in and around in the penalty area, and it will now be picked up at that far side and then stroked all the way back by Conor Cody to Rui Patricio. So 65 minutes played, and it's Wolverhampton Wanderers who lead by 2-0. Digne will beat Doherty in the air, brought down off the chest by Bernard, over the halfway line, runs forward. Wolves, though, are quick to get back, those golden shirts back behind the ball, and then Bolly closes down the cross by Digne. Nuno Espirito Santo will be delighted with the way that his players have performed after those 2 successive defeats. The last time they suffered 3 straight defeats in the Premier League was November 2018. They're back heading towards winning ways here, leading 2-0. Sigurdsson across to Seamus Coleman, right hand side, taken over now by Iwobi, former Arsenal player. Iwobi running in central area, bypasses Bernard, finds Digne, left side of the penalty area, might reach Sigurdsson, shot charged down, goes behind for a corner kick. Carlo Ancelotti watching on unmoved. It's the animated Nuno Espirito Santo that slams his hands into the side of his legs after seeing his side deny that shot from Sigurdsson on the edge of the area. Corner kick to Everton.
It was good play from Iwobi, and Digne, he's done ever so well. I much prefer him going forward. He pulled it back, and it was a good block from Wolves from Sigurdsson's shot.
Branthwaite, the young defender, is forward. Keane tries to get on the end of it, just goes over the head of Michael Keane. It's then picked up by Moise Keane, out towards Sigurdsson, right hand side. Sigurdsson delivers the ball into the penalty area, good header away by Doherty, and then off the knee of Davis, and it's a high ball that drifts wide and out for a goal kick. And are we at the drinks break midway through the second half? Yes, we are, and I would imagine that this is the time that Nuno Espirito Santo unleashes Adama Traore, who, would you believe, since December he's had more dislocated shoulders than Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. 4 times he's dislocated his shoulder in 23 games.
To be fair, then I did that a lot of times during my career, and eventually you do need an operation because the muscles are all loose and stuff like that, so he will have to have an operation, and unless he does all the strength work you can, it doesn't matter, because obviously the muscle is loose and you need to get it all tightened again, because 4 times is a lot of times, really.
That was one for the kids, by the way, about Lethal Weapon.
And he puts it back in himself all the time, so he is like Lethal Weapon.
If he was to have, you're not missing anything, we've got the drinks break. If he was to have an operation, how long would it take?
No, I don't think it would. I don't really think it would take that long. I think maybe a couple of months. It is quite, a couple of months. So yeah, it's a difficult one. What do you do? Back then, mine was 3 or 4 months, but I had it completely cut open. Now they do keyhole surgery. So in actual fact, it might be back 4 or 5 weeks because it's quicker now.
Well, at the minute he's just limbering up. It'll be Pedence who's going to come off. That's the impending substitution that is waiting to happen after that drinks break. Pedence, who I thought has done well, hasn't he, for his first Premier League start?
Yeah, he looks really, really lively. It's a typical Wolves kind of play. He plays like Jota, and he's lively, sharp. He wants to get in behind defenders and cause a lot of problems. But yeah, he's impressed me.
Well, for the time being, it hasn't been made. Why wouldn't you make it there now? That would seem the most logical thing.
I don't get that. It's not like I totally don't get that.
By the way, with the cricket, England have had a decent morning. The West Indies are 35 for 3. They're chasing a total of 200 to win in their second innings. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra after England 313 all out in their second innings. As Sigurdsson turns away, Davis back to Branthwaite, and it goes out of play for a throw. So still we're waiting for Traore. Now the change will be made, because the time only gets added on anyway. Nuno Espirito Santo has grabbed him round the cheeks of Adar. He was going to plant him a kiss on the side of his cheeks, the way he grabbed him there.
He's a big boy to be grabbing like that. I wouldn't.
He really did grab him at the side of his face, and he just gripped him firm either side of his cheeks and gave him a good strong talking to. So Traore to replace Daniel Podence, who's done well, and then a hop, a skip, and a little shuffle, and Adama Traore, a speed merchant, is out on the field of play, and it's his 100th appearance in the Premier League for Adama Traore, who he goes to the right of the three. Jota's to the left, and Jimenez is through the middle as he loses out to the young defender, making his Everton debut as a substitute, Jarrad Branthwaite. And now it's picked up by Moise Kean. Doesn't get the better of Bolly, but the loose ball is picked up by Bernard instead, and Bolly runs into Anthony Taylor, and that actually helped out Bolly. And now it's with Doherty on this near side. Goes all the way back to Cody. A little bit under pressure from Moise Kean. It was a hurried pass, and as a result it'll be Everton who got a throw. It's taken off the replacement cone. That sanitised ball for Seamus Coleman on the right hand side. You can't help but feel that it's a little bit too little too late as far as Everton. The damage done either side of half time. 2-0 down, and still Patricio hasn't been overworked really, has he? As the cross comes in from Digne, Wolves have protected their goalkeeper very, very well. Well, Anthony Taylor is going to give a free kick to the home side. Digne must have been fouled on this near side, the left, as Everton, with about 18 minutes remaining, play from right to left. Yeah,
you are right. You have seen a little bit of a response in the last 5 minutes from Everton, but as you said, it's too little too late. All the damage has been done by Wolves already, and I can only see one winner in this game.
Digne places the ball down, not quite level with the penalty area, but not far off it, just 2 or 3 yards in from the touchline on this near side, the left. Wolves have everybody back in their own penalty area. Digne to deliver the cross. It's headed away by Neves. It goes over the head of Davis, who now passes the ball out towards Iwobi on the right hand side. It's a low ball, comes out to Bernard just outside the D. Took time for him to settle. He's picked out Michael Keane, who's found Digne, and Digne across the face of goal, takes a deflection, has gone behind for a corner kick. No, he's changed his mind as now the referee. It'll be a goal kick.
It's a big chance. It's a massive chance, that is, Deno. It's good play. It's good ball from Bernard, who's come on and he looks really good. He's made an impact. A good ball into Digne, and you fancy Digne on his left foot to hit the target, but he just drags it wide of the post.
What would have been a surprise there is that would have been the first time that Digne has scored for Everton inside the penalty area, because all of his 5 goals for the club have been outside the box. They're underway in the 2 games in the Championship, 2 vital games. At the bottom of the table, Stoke City against your former club Birmingham City, and at the top, Swansea City against the leaders Leeds United. And Swansea know that victory would see them leapfrog their arch rivals Cardiff City and move into the top 6 and a playoff position as the season is coming and drawing to a close, the regulation campaign in the Championship. Talking of the top 6, that's where Wolves are heading in the Premier League. They lead by 2-0 against this Everton side, who have livened up with the substitutions that they've made under Carlo Ancelotti. Bernard caught in possession by Neves. Neves looks, another good ball. It's a beautiful ball on the chest by Jota, and Jota fires it past Pickford, and that's the end of the drought, the mini goal drought for Diego Jota. He hammered it in, left-footed. It's his first goal in 8 games, but what a pass from Ruben Neves, what an assist. And Wolverhampton Wanderers move back into the top 6, because that secures the 3 points as they lead Everton 3-0. But what a ball!
That's class, then. I actually said it when he played the ball because I could see he saw it. But it's a great run from Jota. But Neves' pass is unreal. And to be fair, Jota's still got a lot to do. It's a great touch and it's a great finish. I think Pickford might be a bit disappointed that it's beat him on his near post. But let's credit the goal. The pass from Neves is top draw. And the finish from Jota is even better. It's a brilliant, well-worked goal. And yeah, game, set and match.
Beautiful goal. It was... he just took it on the chest. That's how precise the pass was. And off the chest, he then hit it first time, and Pickford was beaten.
Yeah, the pass made the goal. He didn't have to break his stride, but he still had a lot of work to do. You've got to make sure your touch is really good, and then the finish is really, really confident into the bottom corner. But the pass from Neves is top class. You can see once not everyone ran to the goal scorer, everyone ran to Neves because they know how good the pass was.
Yeah, it was sublime. And Moutinho is going to be coming on because they've used 20 players, the fewest amount in the Premier League. Nuno Espirito Santo will be looking to try and give players a little bit of a break here in the heat at Molyneux, bearing in mind that they've got Burnley away on Wednesday. And they've still got that Europa League campaign to look forward to next month as well. So Moutinho will be coming on, but the game is safe now. Points are in the bag for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and although Everton have livened up fractionally, they still haven't really caused Patricio many problems at all, and it's Wolverhampton Wanderers who now find themselves in a comfortable position. We mentioned them 2 games in the Championship. Stoke City against Birmingham City. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, it's a real relegation scrap this year. No half measures. Both sides in jeopardy. We've played 4 minutes. It's still currently 0-0. Birmingham are the club who slipped into trouble. No wins in 10. Manager leaving in midweek with Steve Spooner and Craig Gardner taking over on a match-by-match basis. Stoke know if they win today, they'll climb above Birmingham into 17th in the table, and for a wee while that'd be a bit of breathing space. Just a little analogy for you on your Mel Gibson and discolated shoulder. Braveheart, you should be a bit more of a Braveheart, Adama Traore.
We're not going to go through the catalogue of Mel Gibson films, are we? There might be a ransom put out for us if that's the case. Swansea City, Leeds United, Michelle Owen.
Yeah, just 2 minutes gone here at the Liberty Stadium. Very early stages, it's 0-0. Leeds having a spell of pressure though already with a free kick and 2 corners in succession. The latest just come in and cleared away by Swansea. Leeds dominate matches. They average 60% possession and they're already dominating here. They'll be looking to carry on at the top of the table after that 5-0 win over Stoke midweek. And Leeds are looking to climb into the playoff spots. They're 7th, just a point behind Cardiff. It's 0-0.
Thanks, Michelle. Whilst you were away, there was just a header. Calvert-Lewin climbed high, but the header was straight at Patricio. Still yet to score since restart, Calvert-Lewin. And we mentioned resting players. Jimenez is coming off, scored the penalty, the first goal just before half-time. So it's 4-4 against Everton for Raúl Jimenez, takes his tally to 25. And João Moutinho comes on to replace the Mexican, and it just means another body in midfield to try and shore things up with Jota and Traore as the outlets for Wolverhampton Wanderers. But Wolves, very, very good, back to the sort of form that you'd expect them to be under Nuno Espirito Santo, as this is with Everton, and again the move just peters out in that final third. Here is Neves looking for Traore. Comes off the head of Digne. Downward header then by Branthwaite, lifted back to him by Digne. And Everton, well, they failed to win in 8 this season against sides in the top half of the Premier League. Only that 1 draw at Manchester United. They've lost the other 7. It'll be another defeat against teams ahead of them. They've only won 3 of their last 31 away.
Yeah, it's not been good enough for a club of Everton.
Top sides.
For a club of Everton size, it's been not good enough, and we've been speaking about it for ages now. They need to be doing better. So as I said, they're probably looking forward to the end of the season, Ancelotti, and then he will have to kick on again next season, and it will be a big season for Everton, because Everton fans won't put out with this for much longer, because it's been disappointing.
The other thing that's a disappointing statistic is they've now conceded 35 goals away from home. You know, they're down there at the bottom with teams such as Aston Villa and Newcastle for conceding goals, the most goals away from home this season. And there is a lot of work to be done for Carlo Ancelotti. Certainly on the evidence of this, it's a major restoration job.
Yeah, it is. It's a big job. It's a huge job, man. They've got the right man, though. I do believe he is the right man to turn it around for sure. Ancelotti, as I've said, he's been there, done it, but it is a hard job. So, yeah, he'll have to get all of his coaching methods that he's got and use it to good use at Everton.
That's the voice of Clinton Morrison on BBC Radio 5 Live. Just over 10 minutes remaining here at Molyneux, where Wolverhampton Wanderers are leading Everton by 3-0. Stroked back by Bernard. Branthwaite, tall, lean, short, blonde hair, gets it back then. The young defender who was signed from Carlisle United. Digne comes short to collect the ball. Sigurdsson being chased by Ruben Neves, back to Michael Keane, and Iwobi takes over on that right hand side. Infield it goes to Davis. I can't think of one player who has looked to try to be a catalyst for change for Everton today. There's not one player who's been able to try and grab the ball and look to try and make things happen. That's how poor they've been. Digne to Bernard. Digne makes the run ahead of him. He gave away that needless penalty. It was a costly penalty as well on the stroke of half time, and Dendoncker is down. But it'll be a very frustrating game this for Carlo Ancelotti.
Oh, definitely. He started off on the side of the pitch in his technical area, and he sat down for the last half an hour, so you can see how disappointed he feels about this game at the moment. And yeah, you're right, I'm looking out there and I'm thinking, who can I say has put their hand up and gave it a right go and said, I'm going to try and turn it around? And there's not many can. Listen, players, they have bad days, Deno, and this could just be a bad day for everyone, but it's been happening too often recently for them.
Dendoncker is able to continue. So yes, work for Carlo Ancelotti to do. 3-0 down here against Wolverhampton Wanderers side that, well, up until today had actually picked up more points away from home than they had at Molyneux, but that will change as these 3 points will just take them to 28 of their tally of 55 this season, and it will take them a point above Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. Adama Traore, the last touch came off Digne, so it'll be a throw to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And the thing is as well is that the margin of victory could have been more. You think of that chance that Jota missed before going on to score the third goal.
Yeah, you're right, Deno, you're spot on. And I think Wolves have, in the second half, when they went 2-0 up, they just took their foot off the pedal anyway and just kind of playing in. It's not like they've gone on and tried to make it 3 or 4 and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's been a excellent performance from Wolves and a disappointing performance from Everton.
They're coming forward again, the home side, leading by 3-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Aston Villa Crystal Palace on its way for the second of 4 commentaries. That was a lazy challenge by Digne. And on a yellow card, remember, and catching Traore. I don't think that referee Anthony Taylor is going to take action against him. He was booked after 19 minutes, and Digne, in fact, might have got a dead leg in the process for catching Traore, because Digne's gone down, and the thing is they've used all their 5 substitutes, so if that's the case, they wouldn't be able to bring on another player. Digne's down. Let's get an update from the cricket, Ellie.
We just resumed after lunch here, Ian. 36 for 3 is the West Indies score. The target is 200, so they are going to need a big innings from one of the men out here at the moment, Roston Chase, who just survived an LBW appeal just before lunch, and Jermaine Blackwood, the new batsman. But we're hearing about John Campbell, that he has obviously badly injured his toe, hit on the foot by a Jofra Archer Yorker with an appeal for LBW, which was given not out. But he is off the field, and if he does have to go for an X-ray, there was a question about what it would be like having to leave the bio bubble, but there is a private hospital which has already been identified nearby, so if he does have to go to hospital for an X-ray, he will be able to go to the hospital and be kept as secure as possible in a room that has been deep cleaned beforehand and then brought back, and he won't have to quarantine after that check that he may well go for. We're not sure whether that particular protocol will be called into effect, but they have pretty much thought of everything here. 38 for 3, target is 200.
Thank you, Ellie. From the free kick. Commentary, by the way, continues on Sports Extra. It's pulled back to Neves, shot charged down, flags up on the far side, and that'll be a free kick to Everton. With how long have we got left? 6 minutes of normal time remaining, and it'll be an Everton free kick. Nuno Espirito Santo, when he came up against Carlo Ancelotti, when he was in charge of Valencia, and Carlo Ancelotti was the head coach of Real Madrid, Nuno Espirito Santo had the better of Carlo Ancelotti there, and he took 4 points out of 6 when they met in La Liga. What would have been 5 seasons ago, a 2-1 victory at the Mestalla. And there was then a 2-2 draw at the Bernabeu. Mentioned those games in the Championship. Swansea City 0, Leeds United 0, but a goal at Stoke City. Sahel Sahi.
It's gone to Stoke, Ian. It's Stoke 1, Birmingham 0. After 12 minutes, it's been a good start from Stoke, and they've capitalised. Good cross from the right-hand side, and then Danny Barr at the far post, sliding in from 3 yards away. Stoke 1, Birmingham 0.
You concerned for your former side, Clinton?
Yeah, I'm worried about them massively. I thought they were comfortable 4 or 5 games ago, but it's been on the worst run ever. Now Pep Clotet's left.
Bernard forward.
Oh, sorry, I just.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I was just watching it. He ran into Bolly. Bolly's clear.
But yeah, I do worry from my old side. I think they're in huge trouble at the moment, and I can't see where the next points are coming from.
As it stands, Stoke City have actually gone above Birmingham as a result of that on-goal difference, both on 49 points, and it would mean that they are 4 points clear of Hull City, who occupy that last relegation berth in the Championship. It's going to be a very tense finish. It's going to be a tight tussle all the way to the very end as Digne launches in a long throw right down the throat of Patricio, who then hits it away downfield, and Jota's after that, and Jota now will run forward, and he heads it on into the penalty area, and Traore's joining him in the penalty area, and Jota will find Traore, who's hit the crossbar, and Wolverhampton Wanderers, with a devastating break, were so close to a fourth, and only the crossbar saves Everton.
It's a great opportunity. What a pass from Rui Patricio. This is what this Wolves team can do. And Jota is brilliant. He just goes past Davis and just beats him in a race, and he cuts it back to Traore. He's got the open goal. I can't believe he's missed it, and he manages from 4 yards to put it onto the crossbar and go over. But Nuno's reaction then is unbelievable. He kicks the bottle. You would have thought they were losing 3-0, but he just wants more goals, and it would have been a fantastic counter-attacking goal.
What a ball out from the back as well from Patricio, and headed on by Jota, and then running in. Not necessarily quite as bad as that Ronnie Rosenthal one from years ago at Villa Park, I think it was, wasn't it? But Traore, who's only scored 6 goals, it's still nevertheless the best scoring season in his career. But from about 10 yards, hits the crossbar, and that would have really rounded off a miserable day for Everton, who are already trailing by 3-0. But Wolves have been very impressive. Back in the groove, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Very much so.
They have been good. That's the only thing with Traore. He's improved his overall game, and he's unplayable at times. But I think he needs to add more goals to his game. If he wants to go to the real elite top level, add more goals. And goals like that, where you're 4 or 5 yards out, they're the goals you want to add more to. But it's been a good season for Traore and Wolves.
Touch of cramp for Johnny on the far side. He's just going to shuffle his bum, so he's actually out of the playing surface. He's just going to feel the back of the legs, the calves, the hamstrings, gives the legs a little run. Looks like he's okay. Physio not required. Wolves temporarily down to 10 men. Aston Villa Crystal Palace on its way. Commentary at 2:15, followed by the North London derby. Tottenham against Arsenal, Bournemouth against Leicester City. Then at 7 tomorrow night, Manchester United Southampton, and more commentaries on Wednesday. Manchester City Bournemouth, Arsenal against Liverpool. There is a 6:06, by the way, tonight at 9:30. Robbie Savage and Sam Quett will be taking your calls. 08085909693, 693, the usual number, but we've got about 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. And Wolverhampton Wanderers going 6th in the Premier League table, leading Everton by 3-0. And Everton, well, disappointingly, have won just 2 of their last 8 away from home in the Premier League. An afternoon for Carlo Ancelotti to forget. Get the teeth in. Not even that cold. No. Bernard on this near side. But like you say, for the last, how long? 20 minutes, Ancelotti's been resigned. You know, he was up and out in his technical area in the first half. He's known the way that this game is going for a long time, but he's just sat down in his seat and watching on, and he will be extremely frustrated with the way that his side have performed.
Yeah, definitely. They've not been good enough, and he'll know they've not been good enough. They've been really disappointing.
Wolves are coming forward. Jota, sprightly, running on that left-hand side. Back in field it goes to Moutinho. Moutinho with a white wristband on either wrist. Out to Bolly, controls it. Forward to Doherty. And so comfortable for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Neves able to turn. And they've got the players as well to just keep the ball. You know, Neves, Moutinho, who's always been a class act.
Yeah.
Ever since he first broke out onto the scene.
Definitely. Yeah, they're an exciting team, Wolves. They've got a lot of talented players. I think Neves has been excellent in midfield. He's kind of controlled the game. Everton gave him too much time in there, and he's dominated the game.
Ball forward, Traore lays it off. The return ball is behind Digne. Traore then brings and draws Michael Keane out of position, looks towards the run of Dendonckere into the penalty area, and then cleared away by Branthwaite. And once again that Everton defence was stretched, and it's a hurried ball. It's a sloppy ball from Davis towards Digne. Really has been an afternoon to forget for Everton. The body language doesn't look good either from some of the players. Heads are bowed, shoulders have dropped. They've had a very, very difficult afternoon here against this Wolverhampton Wanderers side.
Yeah, when you get a game like this, then you just want the final whistle. As players, you want the final whistle. You're thinking this could be anything, and Wolves are rampant at the moment, and you just want to get off that pitch, put the game to bed, and move on to the next one.
Here is Doherty. Still Wolves will come forward. Little flick inside, stopped by Bernard. Clears up to Calvert-Lewin. Holds it up, rolls it out towards that far side. Coleman will run forward. And Coleman, over the halfway line, has Iwobi going on ahead of him. Plays it out towards the right-hand side. Coleman's continued his run. Calvert-Lewin waits in the penalty area. Over the head, too deep. And easily caught from Patricio. Trying to think of the best opportunity that Everton have created.
It's probably the header from Calvert-Lewin, second half, and that wasn't really a great chance. It was a half chance. He done ever so well to get his head to it from a Digne cross. Other than that, they've not really created any clear-cut chances.
No, they haven't. They really have struggled. No creativity, a lack of intensity, and Wolves deservedly on their way to 3 points. We're into the first of 4 minutes to be added on in the first of four. Commentaries on BBC Radio 5 Live. Stoke City, remember, lead Birmingham City by 1-0. Swansea 0, Leeds United 0. The two latest scores in those important games in the Championship. As Neves, Bolly, cut out by Digne to Davis. Davis back to Michael Keane. It's a forward ball. Forward to Iwobi, cut out easily by Saiss, and then rolled towards Traore. There's a purpose about Wolverhampton Wanderers that has been found wanting from Everton in comparison. Traore will continue to run forward, gets the shot away. Every time that Wolves play the ball forward, they've got options, it seems. When Everton play it forward, they don't seem to have any options.
Yeah, that's right, and that's being available for the man on the ball. There's always, and the Wolves players always know their next pass. And when Wolves break, they break with pace. When Everton break, it's slow. And Wolves can get back into shape, and that's been the difference. I think the tempo and I wouldn't say desire, but I'd say more the tempo has been way better from Wolves.
There's a foul throw, so it's going to go in Everton's favour. We've got about 90 seconds remaining. Wolverhampton Wanderers leading by 3-0. Well, they're back on track, and that will please Nuno Espirito Santo, I'm sure. As Sigurdsson is on the ball for Everton, switches play to Digne, beaten in the air by Doherty, took a nasty tumble. Referee's given the free kick against Digne for that challenge on Doherty. I think really felt the effects as he clattered to the floor. A little bit winded maybe. He's just taking a breather. Well, Carlo Ancelotti will point to those two quick-fire goals either side of half-time, but if you analyse the overall performance from Everton, they don't deserve anything from this game.
No, you're spot on. And yeah, they did concede just after half-time and just before half-time, but still, before that, Wolves were the dominant team, and they looked like the team who came here and wanted to win the football match. And Everton looked like they were here ready to defend, but they don't deserve to take anything from this game. You're right, Deno.
Here is Tom Davis. That's Clinton Morrison with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Cody just spins away from Calvert-Lewin. Still looking to find the back of the net since restart for Everton. A misfiring Everton, an inconsistent Everton, who are 3-0 down, and had Traore and Jota not squandered their opportunities, then it really could have been a rout for the home side. Volley along the ground towards Traore. Branthwaite, the debutant, tight behind him, the young Everton defender. Traore rides the challenge of Davis, runs forward, he's still going. That was a complete miss kick, and Traore runs into the penalty area, but he's adjudged to have fouled Seamus Coleman. He was powering his way through the Everton defence. Nobody could stop him, and nobody certainly can stop Wolverhampton Wanderers as Everton's miserable afternoon comes to an end, and Wolverhampton Wanderers deservedly have won this game. The 3 points courtesy of 3 goals, but the margin of victory could have been greater, and Wolves are back up to 6th in the Premier League. Jimenez with a penalty on the first half injury time, Gini with a foul on Pedent, converted by the Mexican, and then just after the restart, Neto with a cross from the right, headed in by Dendoncker. And then a fine finish by Jota, his first goal in 8, ending his own mini drought. Wolves 3, Everton 0. Clinton Morrison.
Yeah, it was a brilliant performance from Wolves. In the first half, Wolves were attacking, and then once they got that crucial goal just before half-time, the second half it was dominant, and it could have probably have been more. Yeah, they missed a few chances. Traore at the end could have made it 4-0, but Nuno would be happy with this performance. As for Everton, they weren't good enough. They look like they were on their holidays, and Ancelotti's got a lot of work to do at Everton.
Very poor Everton, but Wolverhampton Wanderers have bounced back after their blip. Wolves 3, Everton 0.
Yes, and as Ian rightly said, Wolves move up into 6th position on 55 points. They go back above Sheffield United, who are 1 place behind in 7th on 54. Arsenal, no matter what happens in the North London derby today, they cannot go back above Sheffield United or Wolves, so it's all heating up there. Plus, you've got this added layer, I guess, of what's going to happen with the Manchester City decision tomorrow. So those teams that are fighting for that 5th spot will have a little bit more clarity. Clinton Morrison, you've been alongside Ian Dennis at Molyneux. We mentioned at half-time that Jimenez scored at the perfect time, and then the kind of flip of that is you don't want to concede straight after half-time, and that's what Everton did. Then Dendoncker got the second goal.
Yeah, Everton just made a substitution, brought on the young centre-half, and yeah, you can see, I think Dendoncker's run off him and managed to get a free header into the bottom corner, and that is not what you want after the start of your half-time team talk where you've just made a change. So, but you have to credit Wolves. I don't think Everton deserved to get anything out of this game. I think Wolves were the better team, superior team, and thoroughly deserved the 3 points.
Well, just talk me through that third goal as well, because the finish was great, but it was all about the ball from Ruben Neves, wasn't it?
Oh, it was brilliant. I said it in commentary to Deno, what a pass that is, but I didn't know Jota was going to take such a brilliant touch and finish so brilliantly past Pickford. But the pass from Neves was brilliant. Watching it here live, you can see it. Jota makes a great run in from behind, and Neves just picks it, just pings it right into his path. And Jota's still got a lot of hard work to do, but I think his chest control was brilliant, and the finish into the bottom corner was superb. So credit Neves. I thought he was outstanding. I think he was the catalyst for Wolves all afternoon.
Yeah, wait till you see that finish. It really was a great goal. Ian, Clinton, thank you very much for taking us through the first of 4 commentary games here on 5 Live Sport today.